I'm Kip Marlowe with the Entrepreneurs Club of America. And many of you know that we are a networking organization dedicated to the entrepreneur and small business owner. Our lunchtime meetings provide quite a platform for all our members to collect and collaborate. And I'm delighted that Keith Kokal is here with us today. We're at Keith's office, Microlaboratories. Keith founded Microlaboratories 15 years ago. And I wanted to talk to him. He's a member of one of our chapters. And Keith, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks.
Tell me about Microlaboratories.
Well, actually, it's our 23rd year.
Oh, jeez, I didn't. Okay, okay.
And
I stand corrected.
And we do gauge calibrations for manufacturing companies and distributors and anyone who has equipment that needs calibration. We have about 2,000 customers from
worldwide or just the United States?
The majority of it is within 500 miles of it, but we have customers in Costa Rica and Canada.
Oh,
so
do you go to Costa Rica?
I want to. I may have to make a delivery there some cold February.
There you go. Perfect time. I've been to Costa Rica. It's a great place, by the way. Are you going to keep it? You're going to keep going with it? You're going to sell it? You're going to take it public? Are you going?
I'm keeping it going, and I have hopes of having my sons join me, at least one of my sons, who's been working with me now. He's going to school and working here.
You're talking about Garrett?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So that'd be good, and he'll bring in new energy, new life. That'd be nice.
Good. Is he going to get all the credentials that you have?
Hopefully, and then some. That'd be nice.
Yeah. That would be really good.
Mm-hmm.
I know his heart's in it.
Mm-hmm.
After talking to him at an entrepreneur club meeting, I know his heart is in it. So that's great. Why do you go to entrepreneur club meetings?
I like to hear the stories of the people. It kind of reaffirms that I'm not in this alone. And I recall when I first went to the first meeting years ago, I got something in the mail that introduced me to the meeting, and I have a lot of stuff that I belong to, so I just don't have a lot of time. But I read the word entrepreneur over and over, and I thought, you know, if I'm anything, I'm an entrepreneur. So I went to the meeting, and I never regretted it. And that's back when I think we had 12 or 14 people at a Dino's restaurant.
I remember those, yes.
Yeah. So it was, and it was nice to hear that other people had their own fair share of struggles and how they overcame them.
One of the things that I've learned as a recovering entrepreneur, by the way, is that all entrepreneurs have struggles, and it's a process. And you start your business, and all of a sudden the feathers hit the fan, and something goes wrong. You have to start over or change direction. Did you have to do that, or did you do right from the beginning what you do today?
No, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, except for the technical side of it. The business side was very new to me, and I just kind of struggled my way through it.
How did you learn the technical side? Did you take college courses, or did you take special courses in all this? Because this is very technical.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had the fortunate experience of working in several factories, and in those factories I would work with different people that in their quality departments would pass on some knowledge to me about it. But then I supplemented it with going to taking night classes at Cuyahoga Community College in Cleveland, and reading. And then as I got more and more serious about it and learned more about it, there was professional organizations that I joined, and I took the courses at the professional organizations, and that grew to even more organizations. And as I was just explaining, I just came back from Baltimore for a whole weekend of concentrated training, and so it's a never-ending learning to keep it at the top level of it.
Keith was on our radio show, Entrepreneur's Insight, and one of the most significant things that he said while being interviewed on the radio show was he's always learning, always looking, always working. Are you still that way?
Oh, sure.
You will always be that way?
Well, I'll always be doing something.
Except when you're on your boat.
Well, even then, even that is a nice relaxing thing.
Yes.
There's always, I just love the challenge of all the complexity. businesses. So that's a nice. Nothing gets boring then.
Nothing gets boring. I know that you did not grow up rich.
Mm-hmm.
But how did you end up starting a company like this?
I started off real small.
But you were working for somebody.
Right. I worked 2 jobs, and I signed the lease for a building, and I had a piece of rental property. I sold the house, and I bought some equipment with it. And every day after work, I would go and I would work on I would do my regular job, and then after work, I would go work on trying to grow the business.
Okay. So this was a part-time business for you, knowing that someday it would be full-time.
Hoping it would be.
Hoping.
Yeah, right. But that turned, I didn't think it was going to take 10 years to go full-time at it, but a lot of things happened on my job, and I wouldn't leave the company in the middle of what was going on, so I stayed on as long as I could.
That's incredible, and this is not an unusual entrepreneurial story. You've been going to Entrepreneur Club meetings for a few years. Do you get any business out of it?
I don't know if I got business out of it, but I can tell you at one of the meetings, I got something better than business out of it. We were sitting at one of the round tables, and I recognized some of the faces there, but you know, at the meeting, you get to really truly meet them and talk to them on a one-on-one, even if it is 6 or 8 on one. Everyone shares experiences, and near the end of the meeting, after the speaker got done, someone came over from behind me and at another table, and asked if I was Keith from Microlabs, and I said yes. And he put his hand out and shook my hand and said, "I just want to thank you for a great job you guys did. I really appreciate the turnaround. You did a great job." And I looked around at everyone else, and I thought, huh? Was that a commercial? I mean, is this? You know? And that was Jim Atwell from Core
no
Scientific.
kidding, from
Yeah.
Core Scientific. Oh
Right.
my golly!
Yeah.
But you did not know that he was a customer, because you don't see your customers. You see their equipment.
Right.
Everybody ships everything here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably the first time you met Jim.
It was. And
be darned.
that was, and there's other people there that attend the meeting that are customers, like Roger Sustar, for example.
Yeah.
He's been my customer for years. He's my neighbor down the street.
He is, yeah.
But it wasn't until attending these meetings where he actually got to know what I look like, and I knew what he looked like.
Gotcha.
So even though since the mid '80s, I've known of Freedom.
Gotcha. Keith, thank you so much. One last question. The Entrepreneurs Club meetings almost always have a speaker. And the speaker is usually a pretty successful small business owner. Do their speeches help you?
Yes, oh sure. There's some great information comes out of there. It's, I'm not big on taking notes, but you know, I wish that I would have at least taken 1 or 2 lines from each speaker, because there's been some great. Tom Wheeler from Aviation Product Support.
Yes.
He had a great line that I still use today. He says, "Bankers are friendly, but they're not your friends."
Good. That's true.
And not that I don't owe any money to a bank or anything, but this happened shortly after 9/11, and the world stopped. And he's in aerospace. Aerospace was hurting bad, so he had a really interesting perspective. And I'm thinking, I hope other people in the room that do require money, learn from that.
Understand that, for sure. And as I mentioned to you, as a recovering entrepreneur, I had a very large loan in a past business, and that is very true. I've never heard it put that way before, but it's really true.
Mm-hmm.
Keith, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Keith Kokal,
Thank you.
Microlaboratories Inc., Mentor, Ohio.
Thank you.